Oh, hello. So, funny thing, I had already started recording, and I got this little microphone on, and I got this little receiver plugged into my phone, and I forgot to turn the microphone on. So, none of the audio was recorded. It was just me, my lips moving on the screen. So, I'm going to try and do that over again. It was basically just me ranting about, well, let's start from the beginning. I'm tired mentally, physically as well, because I work, try and take my mind off of, let me rephrase, I work hard to try and keep my mind off of the world and the state that it's in. And yeah, so I'm really sick of seeing people die every single day on my phone. Been doom scrolling a little too much, I think. But I mean, I guess it's because other people's algorithms aren't as vicious as mine. But when I share things about how fucking wild and crazy the world is right now, people think that I'm the one that's crazy. Or at least it feels like they do, because I don't have anyone to talk to about it. And when I do, they're just like, yeah, man, sucks. Like, yeah, it does. It does fucking suck. Especially when you know that we have the power, as if we come together as a society, that is, to get these people to actually change things, at least change the way they operate shit. Like, let's talk about pay structure. We'll talk about pay and the fact that obviously our wages have not really increased, somewhat, but not a lot, for years. Like, I'm in skilled trades as a tool and die journeyman, and I make slightly more than what tool and die makers made in the 90s. If not less than what some places used to pay. Let's go. I'm on this little park here. Needed to get out into nature. The sun was just shining real good. I'm in the shade now because of a cloud. Now I'm walking into the woods, but yeah, it's kind of horseshit how the prices of everything, rent, groceries, electricity, gas, natural gas, everything has increased, but our pay, basically as a whole, hasn't increased for years. And I find that quite frustrating. I'm a single man, thankfully, with no children. And I say that reluctantly because I do want to have a family and things, but I couldn't imagine afford childcare, schooling, and just essentials, basically, for a kid these days. Like, my best friend has 2 kids, one of which is, I'm going to say this, I don't know if you would agree, but extreme special needs. He's really young, had a liver transplant basically as soon as he came out of the womb. And so healthcare for him is freaking outrageous. And my friend doesn't have a job that provides healthcare for him and his family. He's a contractor. Obviously, that's his choice. But he makes good money doing it, luckily for him. But healthcare has got to be insane. Mosquito. Bastard. I might have to get out of these woods here. I'm going to get attacked. But, yeah, and then these corporate people that run the show, they make ungodly amounts of money comparatively. And Yeah, it's just not right. And the sad part about it is, if we actually came together as a society, we could get that changed. And I know that that's not an easy thing to do, to get everyone to come together to agree on one thing. But I would like to think that this is one thing that we could all actually agree on. Now, we'll talk about migration, immigration. Very touchy subject, I feel like, which really shouldn't be. To me, there's a lot of people coming into this country illegally. Obviously the flow has slowed, but I think the census recently said there was 50 million illegal immigrants. That's a weird thing to say. 50 million illegal immigrants. And so let's say, and everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people like to talk about how hardworking these 50 million illegal immigrants are. Okay, fine. Let's say majority of them are. Let's say 35,000 of them have a job. It's 35 million jobs that Americans don't have. Americans that want to have a job. Now, obviously, there's a lot of Americans that don't want to work these days, and people like to talk about, oh, well, Americans are lazy, Americans are this and that. And, well, let's think about this. If you're a legal citizen and you have a job, and let's say you work hard at this job, say you actually try to do a good job, you're not paid a wage that can sustain you and a family. Let's say you and 2 kids. You don't, like, okay, tire change. What are they called? Tire technician or some shit. We'll go with that. When I was doing it, I think my pay was at like $9 an hour. Granted, that was some time ago. But from what I understand, it hasn't really increased by much since I was, how old was I? 21, I think. Maybe 20. 21 years old when I stopped being a tire tech. And I'm 34 now, going to be 35 this year. So that's, I don't know, 10, 14 years ago, let's say, 15 years ago. And wages have increased $5 in 15 years. Whereas groceries, are 5 times more expensive. So that's a rough pill to swallow, if you ask me. But I gotta take a pee. We'll be back. And we're back. Listen to that beautiful urban sound around me. You hear that plane? At least that's not gunfire. That's good. I don't live in that kind of an area. Oh, good. People again. But yeah, wages haven't gone up at all, or barely insignificantly. People don't want to work because wages haven't gone up. And it's like, what's the fucking point? Can't afford housing. Can't afford groceries. I forgot the number, but from, let's say, 18 to 35, the number of people males especially, that live with their parents is some ungodly number, percentage. And it's like, I lived with my parents not too long ago, when COVID first hit. Granted, I was renting a basement before that, and I could have continued to stay in this basement, but my mom, she pressured me. She she kind of guilted me into it. Also, she was like, yeah, you won't have to give us rent money, you won't have to pay for groceries, which honestly was a lie. They did. First day living with my mom and my stepdad, they were like, yeah, we want to talk to you about paying rent. It was only like $400, but that's what I was paying to live in the basement that I was living in, which, granted, it's a basement, not the best, but had more room. Anyway, neither here nor there. I stayed with my parents, so I don't look down on these guys that are doing it now. Number one, maybe they don't want to be alone, because in today's day and age, it's another ungodly number of males that don't have a close friend. I'm one of them. That's probably why I'm really doing this, especially when I'm doing it alone. The one guy that I would hang out with and do this with don't want to fucking do it with me anymore. Granted, he's a very busy person. He is constantly working, so it's understandable. However, there's just a lot of us that don't have anybody to talk to. We get on the internet, we doom scroll, and we go to bed. Oh, Space Spy. Don't want to fuck your web up, bud. Did anyway. Yeah, it's just sad, dude. Loon. Ooh, a foxhole. Yeah, it's just sad to see, like, how men are just thrown away these days. I mean, granted, men have always had this do or die mentality type thing about us. You know, it's always kind of been you versus the world. But I don't know. At least back in the 90s and the 80s, chances are you had a group of friends. And maybe you didn't talk too personally. Maybe as personal as you got as, oh, my wife's a bitch. But at least you had that. And you had a wife. The number of males that are single these days has grown astronomically. Again, I don't have any numbers for you, but you can look it up for yourself. Maybe if I actually edit this, then I'll put some screenshots up, but kind of didn't feel like doing that for this one. This is basically just a rant about being lonely and underpaid. Probably a lot of ums going to be in it. I always have a lot of ums in my videos, but it's sad, dude. And not just for me. I mean, for everybody out there struggling right now. Men, women, and to the point of illegal immigration, like, I get it. I'd fucking come here too if I had the chance. If I lived in Mexico or Venezuela or Haiti or any of these places, I would want to come here too. So, and again, if they're coming here and they're working, paying their taxes, that's fantastic. More power to them. We're happy to have you. Yada yada, starting businesses. But again, those are jobs and businesses that law-abiding, legal citizens, jobs they could have had, businesses they could have started. And an even bigger issue I have with the illegal immigration is the coddling, the free housing, the money, the assistance that a lot of these people are getting is crazy to me. And, there are systems out there for citizens to use, EBT and things like that. But from what I understand, it's extremely hard to get that kind of thing, you have to make little to no money whatsoever to be able to qualify for these types of things. And it's not right to me. I feel like Americans, we're born and raised here, black, white, whatever color, born here, parents are here, parents worked here, you work here, and we're just being thrown to the side for illegal immigrants. And by our own citizens, by a lot of our own people. They're like, well, fuck you. Especially if you're on the other side of the political spectrum, like me. I consider myself a libertarian, but I know a lot of people would just see me as simply right wing, and that's not the case. And that's another thing, is we need to quit trying to dumb everything down to left and right, because it's really not that simple. We're all humans. We all have needs, we all have wants, and we're all getting screwed. So, left, right, doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. We gotta put the left to right bullshit aside and forget about it. You know what I mean? It's time. It's time we all came together and work together as a society and as a people. I don't know if you heard that. Work together as a society and as a people, and really get this revolution going, if you ask me. And I'm not necessarily saying start a freaking civil war, because that's the last thing I want. Believe me. You see videos of these other countries that are in disarray and civil war, and like Myanmar, and I mean, they probably look a little different than Myanmar here, because that's a wild country. But think about it. If it was a civil war, a lot of it would probably be fought in the mid to lower USA and Appalachia and things like that, very mountainous regions. I'm in the woods right now. I'm in Michigan. We have mountains here. Granted, they're very far north, but I don't know if they're actually technically mountains, but they're big hills. And we don't need gunfighting. There's already enough of it here in various neighborhoods and states. So yeah, time to come together. I want to talk about, again, changing subjects. I want to talk about National Guard being deployed. Now, obviously, it worked in DC. It helped. Crime is obviously down. If you have armed soldiers walking around the neighborhoods, it's going to make a difference. Which is cool. That's good. Happy to see it. Also, scares the shit out of me, because that means we're this much closer to martial law. And for those of you who don't know, martial law is when the federal government takes over complete control of the country. We lose all our rights, literally all of them. And it wouldn't be good. It would not be a fun thing if martial law is instated. I don't know if that's what happened in DC, if they actually declared martial law, or if they just sent in troops to help. From what it sounds like, they just sent troops in to help aid the local police and things like that. Which is cool. Good. Glad. And I saw a map of other states where they're planning on deploying National Guard. And it, to me, really looked like basically just right through the middle of the United States. And there would be, one state up here, 2 states down here, and then 2 states in the middle, whatever the middle is, where they would be deploying the National Guard. It almost looked to me like strategic, if, like, let's say, people did start rioting and fighting back against these federal forces being deployed, it looked like a strategic deployment to basically put everybody in check. I don't know, it's scary. Very scary times. I think we're far away from something like that, but I could be wrong. And the weight is killing me, honestly. And kind of sick of waiting. If they're gonna fucking try and take over, like the elites, Trump, Palantir, all of them. What's that guy's name? Peter Thiel, and these technocrats. If they're gonna do it, I wish they'd just fucking do it already. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, time to come together as a society and as a people. Say enough is enough. Again, with the Epstein list, like, oh, this motherfucker, he literally ran with the terminology I'm looking for. Trump ran on the ideal that he was going to release the files, and now he's saying that there isn't any. Which is the most ass backwards thing I've ever heard. It's really crazy to me that somebody like him is gonna do some shit like that. I mean, it doesn't really surprise me because I truly believe. Sorry about that. Hello down there. I believe that there is no left and right. I think that they're all paid opposition. They're all paid by one country in particular. Plane. See, there it is. Yeah, I believe all these politicians are bought off essentially by one country, which I'm not gonna state. I don't know if I talked about it in this video or the video I was recording that didn't have audio, but yeah, you're not allowed to criticize this one country, because if you do, you're gonna get arrested and possibly deported. So, time for another smoke. I probably should have prepared for this better. So what I'll probably do this one, this little podcast here, post it, maybe edit it. I should probably edit it at least a little bit. Maybe edit it a little bit. Sorry, I'm muffled because of the smoke. And then I'll do another one that has more stats and numbers and things like that, so that way you guys can see what I'm talking about. If anybody even watches this, I'm assuming that somebody's going to see this. So yeah, I will get some numbers on immigration, jobs, U.S. citizens that don't want jobs, U.S. citizens that want a job, can't get one, those types of things. Oh, let's talk about who a lot of people thought was going to be a savior, Elon Musk, and his H-1B visas. So this guy, he basically helped Trump. All these politicians and newscasters and podcasters talk about how Elon Musk basically helped Trump get elected. Okay, cool. Now they got into their little tiff over the that's a weird, strange trunk in the middle of this random cement. I'm in this big ass field, and looks like an old tennis court or something. And there is a locked chest. anyway, Elon Musk. He's just another turd that was trying to pay a politician to let him have his way with the country, essentially. And what does it say? Contents, net, and rocks. Email. Oh, okay. That's cool. Net and shit for people who want to play tennis. That's cute. Yeah, he was just trying to get more money out of the country. Back on somebody he knew he could use, i.e. Trump. And Trump used him better than he could use Trump. The Doge thing is kind of hilarious to me. It's like, they found all this waste and things like that. And you said was paying the Taliban and sending all this money and all these weird fucking like trans things in other countries, and then nothing came of it. I think I seen something about Marco Rubio gonna do something with USAID, investigate or shut down. And I think it's all bullshit. All this money, all of our money, is still being spent where we don't want it to be spent, going to people we don't want it to go to. And we're getting fucked. Like I said earlier, I don't have kids. I'm single, so all my money goes to me and stuff that I want to buy. But, I still gotta kind of scrimp and save for, like, let's say if I wanted to buy a dirt bike or something. I'd have to save for months, which, okay, fine. But if I wasn't getting taxed to death, then I wouldn't have to worry about that. And so the amount of taxes that we pay is wrong. We're getting robbed. And we're getting robbed by the corporations that pay us while they get paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. So, I don't know. Again, I'm just sick of it. Sick of it, man. We sacrifice our bodies and our brains. We beat the piss out of ourselves. And it's like, for what? I have a small 2-bedroom house. It's under 1,000 square feet. And I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed to have the things that I have. And I thank God literally every single day for them. But it's just, I guess this is just the American in me. I feel like I should be able to have more. As a skilled tradesman, I should be able to afford a nice house and a nice neighborhood with a nice car. I don't even have a license. I lost my license years ago. I'll admit that. I was a drunken fool for the majority of my life so far. Managed to get sober, which wasn't exactly easy, but, it was a choice that I made. And that choice was honestly out of desperation because of how little I made, what little I could afford. Also, I put myself around people that were doing the same thing. Most addicts do. And I was definitely one of the worst of the group. And, yeah, definitely my fault. But still, felt like it was out of survival. I've always been kind of upset with the government, how they spend our money and how bad they screw us. And a lot of people are just able to kind of turn their head away from it, and I can't. I'm not the type of person. I guess maybe I should be more grateful to the government for not completely screwing us over yet. But like I said, I think that day might be coming in the future. It's strange times we're living in. So at least we got these nice parks to go walk in, right? And I get to do these cool little videos. So I don't know, man. Don't know. It's like I've been at home kind of going, just kind of pacing around the house. Not actually pacing, but, cleaning up here and there. I have trouble sitting still. And I got on Netflix last night to watch a particular show. Watched 2 seasons of it. Tires with Shane Gillis. Hilarious. Very short episodes. Not bitching. So all I'm saying is once I ran out of that to watch, tried finding something else, and it was just shitty show after shitty show after shitty show. It's like they just cram all of this entertainment in people's faces to give us something to do. It's like Caesar, he talked about, gives them bread in a circus and, they won't rebel. It's basically all this shit is. Like, we have enough food to survive, thank God. Thank you, God. And, we have millions, literally millions of shows in YouTube videos that we can watch to try and keep us not thinking about how fucking weird shit is. I don't know. I know I'm not the only one. Hopefully more people are kind of waking up and seeing this shit for what it really is. It's just, it's frustrating. I live in Michigan, mostly Democrat state, which, I get it. I consider myself a liberal, I guess. Democrat, liberal, whatever. I kind of, maybe more libertarian ideas. I don't care if you're homosexual. I think people should be allowed to be homosexuals. It's crazy to me that there's people that don't want people to be homosexual, who care if people are homosexual. My biggest right-wing idea is I want guns. I have guns. I don't want the government to be able to take our guns away. I don't think that should even cross their mind. Why would the government be worried about everyday citizens being able to protect themselves? And people talk about school shooters and mass shooters, and if there weren't guns then this wouldn't have happened. Bullshit. Crazy people that want to hurt people are always going to be able to find a way to hurt people. It happens in Germany with stabbings. Sweden, well, I think there's guns in Sweden, but there's been, since their mass immigration, they've had more bombings and terrorist attacks over there than in their entire history. It's crazy. If I edit, or next podcast, again, I'll have numbers. It's just, why do I need to worry about the government taking my gun away? And people talk, oh, you think you're going to fight the government with your AR? No, I don't. I think if the government decided to round up everybody's guns one day, they're going to take my fucking gun. Or I'm going to die. Honestly. And I said in the previous video that didn't have audio that the CIA has been conducting mind control experiments since the 50s or something, since MK Ultra essentially. And if they want to take guns away, they could just flood my house and my brain with waves of give up, basically, and boom, I'd be a docile little pig, and they could come take whatever they wanted. I maybe that's conspiratorial to some people, but it's true. Look up CIA mind control experiments, and you'll find it. It's just nuts what they're capable of doing, and regular everyday citizens are not aware of it. A lot of people don't know what MK Ultra is. Again, that's crazy to me. Find out what it is. You should know as an American citizen what MK Ultra was. I don't know, man. It's like people don't want to know. Again, it goes back to the bread and circus idea. You know, people won't fight back if you give them what they need and give them entertainment. Just sad. We could have the world, this country, let's not talk about the world right now. We'll talk about this country. Does not need to be like this. We could be so much better off. And maybe I'm just glorifying the 90s and the 80s, but seems like people had it a lot better back then. And I know, like, oh, well, we have the internet and we have these TVs and computers and phones that I'm recording this on right now. I got a microphone. You know, not everybody had that in the 80s and the 90s, but it's, who gives a shit? You know, we could be having nice homes, affording our families and our health care. We should be able to afford those things. That's the American dream. And now people are struggling to be able to have that. And it's not right. It doesn't need to be like that. The greed that a lot of people in this country have and exemplify is disgusting, and it's getting out of hand. And maybe this whole video is basically me being greedy, but I just want what I've earned as a citizen, as a worker. Like I said, I work hard. I work very hard at what I do. And I see people around me that don't work hard at all. They're angry, they're bitter, more bitter than I am, but they're not doing shit about it except for fucking over the guy next to him that is working hard. And it's kind of fucking disgusting. So, I don't know, man. Tell me what you think in the comments. Hit that like button. So, yeah, we'll see. I think I might end this video. Maybe try and get on Instagram Live, which is probably a waste, but why not? Because I can. I'm going over my sister's house here in a little bit. It's 2:26. I'm heading over there around 4, so I've got about an hour and a half. It's Labor Day. I hope you guys have a good one. And stay chill. I love you.